So we're going to use this opportunity for the main episode and the half pint to purge Christmas until at least next September.
Maybe you should just not mention it.
What, at all this time round?
Yeah.
I don't think I'll have much to talk about, to be fair.
No, me neither. So, I mean...
Oh, good night then.
Bye! Oh, sorry.
So you haven't accumulated anything else to speak of? So you've just been sitting in a chair, farting and eating? Then, all right.
I've been doing lots of making over Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate?
No.
No. Me neither.
He has taken a vow of silence as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. The Maker's Creed. Yeah. First rule, don't talk about what you built.
First rule about Maker Club, don't talk about Maker Club.
We've all failed rather miserably. Yeah. I mean, it's true. We don't
start a podcast.
We don't know about the ones who doesn't talk about their make, or is that the ones who hasn't updated their Instagram for 3 years? Perhaps are they the cool ones?
They're the people that wander around at Makers Central that you think aren't makers, KJ. They're just the quiet makers.
It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah.
Well, that makes us non-problematic at all, then, doesn't it?
Problematic in another way, I think.
But I mean, how do they vent their inner monologues and yeah?
How did you do it before you found us?
Oh wow!
Spoke to myself. I mean,
Like
there's basically
that.
nothing different. Someone just flicked on a microphone and everything's the same.
I've got news for you, Haavard. None of this is real. You're still talking to yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and that was a weird one.
I mean, you should really take credit. You have great imagination, I would say.
Yeah, it's very detailed, odd but detailed.
Lives in a world where he thinks he makes crazy stuff in his shed. He thinks he's got 2 children and a wife. It's just in the padded cell.
He called back to the asylum. That was a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, episode 23, I think, KJ.
It was a low number, I know that.
I like playing that game with you, though. So, maker-wise, you did ask. I think I started off preparing some vegetables for Christmas on the lathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does your workshop smell?
It smells fine now.
How hard was it to clean up?
Do you know what? If I'd cleaned up straight away, it would have been really, really easy. But I'd had a big bout of insomnia the night before, and did the little reel and put that out, and then went and had a nap, and then did some other things, some tidying and whatnot. So I think it was about 3 or 4 hours later on when I came back in to clear up, and all that raw vegetables had welded themselves to everything. I had to use WD-40 to loosen it off the lathe.
The question is, maybe you should have just left it for longer, because once it dries and, can you say mummify with vegetables when they're really dry? It's like they naturally freeze dry. Then they're really easy. Just vacuum them up and call it a day.
They've made like a natural glue, which had just bonded them to everything.
Yeah,
I don't know with extra time if that had just failed or.
Yeah, that depends on with the surface and how well your lathe is with rust and that sort of thing. Because in the process of being dried, they are rather wet.
Yes.
But I mean, the products you produced looked really nice.
I think it was some good fun there. I was just sat there and just thought, I know what I can do. Let's go and make some vegetables on the lathe. No, it's just it's a fun idea. I mean, it completely flopped as a thing on YouTube. I think it's my lowest ever viewed short. It did like 80 views for a short, which is terrible.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, happens to the best of us. And then what did I do? I think then I made a post-apocalyptic box for my soldering station.
Oh yeah,
My favourite build so far this year. I loved making that thing.
You didn't film it, or
I didn't film it, but I just really love the outcome. I love how it looks.
yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with it, and it's practical as well. So yeah, really, really happy with that. And then the neighbours, I got some new chisels, some wood turning chisels. That's where this story starts. So me and Michelle bought each other some new wood turning chisels for Christmas. And Steve bought me a set of carbide tipped wood turning chisels for building the deck for him as a thank you. So I'd got these chisels, and I'd had a conversation with one of my customers whose children live over the road. Well, daughter lives over the road. And she'd seen the whiskey cup that I'd made for Haavard. So I thought we'd had a conversation, and she'd quite like one of these for my husband, the chap that lives over the road, and his brother-in-law. So I didn't do anything about it before Christmas. But on Boxing Day, I got these new chisels. And I thought, I know what, I'll go in the workshop early in the morning, and I turned 3 identical whiskey glasses, which was nice. It's the first time I've ever tried to make duplicates of the same thing. So I was really chuffed with how they turned out, and I managed to give them to her secretly, and she'd given one to her son-in-law, Pete, who lives over the road. And he walked past the workshop the other night and said, "Oh, Glenn, just wanted to say thank you for the egg cups you made us." At which point I burst out laughing and said, "They're not bloody egg cups. They're for whiskey."
How big eggs do they have?
Yeah. Oh dear. So they went down well. I later last night actually I got a photo of them all drinking from the whiskey clubs, and they were drinking whiskey, not eggs.
That's
from
good.
them, which was nice, and a request to make another one. They got another family member over. Would you mind making another one? So I actually was at a loss last night because the girls were out for the evening. So I went in the workshop and turned another one and delivered it straight away. So yeah, that's my making so far.
Nice.
You should just make 10, 15 of them and just have them, because you always need a gift, right? And sometimes you're like, oh man, I forgot. You're going to a birthday or something, and you just wrap one and bring it.
The problem is they're handy little pot-sized things. I just use them for mixing glue and resin and all sorts. And if they were just laying around,
that's an exclusive glue pot if I ever saw one.
Definitely.
How was it trying to make them identical, or at least sibling-like?
It was surprisingly easy. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. I mean, they're not 100% identical, but they're all the same width and the same length. You know, the rounding over on the lips and the base is probably slightly different, but they all look very, very similar. So yeah, I was chuffed with that.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to be identical twins. If they're twins, it's great. As long as they're siblings, I think it's fine.
You can definitely tell they're related.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that went well. Yeah, so I've done,
nice.
Plenty of making. I've got another project. I actually want to make a cabinet for my new chisels because they don't fit in the old holder system for the old chisels. So I'm going to make a glass-fronted cabinet.
Fancy.
I know. So I got a piece of glass and went under my workbench tonight and dug out all the oak I own. Far more than I need for this project, but I thought I'd get it all out and get it all milled up so it's all nice square timber for next time I want to make something out of oak. So day after tomorrow, hopefully, it'll be a lot of milling up in the workshop. Get all the dirty stuff done in one go. get it cleaned up.
Good thinking.
Yeah. So I've been a busy little maker this Christmas. What about you guys? What about you, KJ?
Well, I've been kind of busy. I mean, Christmas does take a lot of time away from you. I mean, in all the getting presents, cleaning the house, making all the food and that sort of thing, and making sure that the kids don't kill each other. But other than that, I have been able to do some editing on my latest video that hopefully is out by the time this podcast is out.
Oh, awesome.
And I've also been down in the workshop and actually cleared out about 2 cubic feet of scrap wood and thrown it away.
Why?
Because it was in the way, and it was actually just scrappy. I mean, the stuff that you don't have any real use for.
But it got to the stage where it was only really firewood.
Yes.
That's fair enough, then.
And I also tidied up all my wood storage, so now you can actually find stuff that's useful, and everything is laid out nice.
Nice.
And I mean, I mostly did this because I needed to dig out some material that I needed for a project that I'm hopefully going to do in the couple of days following, but also that I went to a Christmas sale at a wood supplier and bought some actual proper wood.
I saw that. What did you get?
I'm not 100% sure because I forgot with me going to the car and actually writing it down. But it was one piece of oak and one piece of mountain ash, I think it was, and one piece of, I think it was pecan. I'm not 100% sure. I remember it being a nut that started with P. But I'm pretty kind of sure that it could be some of the other ones. And the fourth one, I forgot about what it was. But yeah, I spent about 85 quid on 3 larger, kind of, large for me, pieces of wood at least.
It looked like you got a pretty good deal, actually, for 85 quid. They looked really nice pieces of wood.
Yeah, I think so. I think all the ones I chose were in the 50% off pile. And I think he had 30% off of everything that wasn't... I mean, he had those huge, like 3 meters tall book matched slabs. You know, they go for like 2,000 quid or something like that.
Yeah.
He had those as well. But yeah, it was really nice. Really nice.
And what's the condition of the wood, KJ? I mean, will it need filling and whatnot, or is it all nice and solid? For instance, that piece of chestnut that I had loads of cracks and stuff in it, which needed work before I could actually do anything with it.
Yeah, if you wanted to use the entire pieces, there were some, not that much cracks in the ones I picked out, but there were some what's it called from the branches?
Knots.
Knots, thank you. Yes, some knots that would need some kind of epoxy, but I mean there were a lot of wood in between that were just fine. So if you want to do smaller pieces, then it's totally fine. And I think I don't have any project in mind either. I mean, I just went there partly because I wanted to go, because this is like I think of it as the bargain bin of the operation. No, not really, but because they are a place, they are based somewhere else, but this is a place that's closer to Stockholm, so I think they just offload some of their bits and pieces there as well, just to have it closer to the capital. So I mean, it might not be the best things, but it would be nice to actually go sometime. And now that they had the Christmas sale, it felt like a good time to just sneak away from the family for an hour or two. So it was really nice in that way as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try and use at least some of them for some power carving when I actually break out the turbo plane when the weather is nicer to be outside. So that's the long-term plan.
And will this be your first experience of working with fancy wood as opposed to just pine?
Yes, I have done some work with oak before because I have a shitload of oak scraps.
Right.
But I mean those are just thin, like 8 mil, I think. So you have to
Okay.
glue a lot of them together if you actually want
Yeah.
something useful. So this is the first time I have some big chunks of proper hardwood. So yeah, I'm looking
Nice.
forward to that.
That sounds good.
Yes. Yes.
What about you, Havar?
I have not got any making done, although I got a video out. I did actually think of having like a follow up after the last Hellcorder video, and I just got in the mood yesterday, and I just went into the workshop. Maybe it was fueled by one or two gin and tonics, but it was like a one take in the box kind of situation. I just went in, pressed record, and yep, nailed it. Went back, edited it, and uploaded it this morning because yeah, I did need some quality control the morning after, but yeah, looked good. And other than that, I have been cleaning a bit in the workshop and then fantasizing about where I should put a lathe. I've been spending some time on the interwebs trying to find out who has the best deal. Um, and of course, I know what my first project will be, or at least I knew what my first project would be of 2025. Until I forgot there is a Lampalong coming along as well, so I shouldn't have too much on my plate. And whilst I was trying to juggle those two thoughts, I ordered a meat hammer, as one do,
Obviously.
obviously.
Yeah. And is this for using with meat, or is this to strap
No,
to an engine?
I'm not sure yet. I just like the look of the handle, and yeah, I think I can make something out of it. So it's probably gonna. I mean, it's an all aluminum one piece, so I think I'll just drill some holes in the what's it called, the slamming surface of the hammer. I mean, the ends of the head.
Yeah.
Drill and tap a few holes so I can put on some oak slabs at the end, which would be replaceable, and call it a day.
Nice.
And the reason I found it was that I got a gift card, like a prepaid one, and I really hate those because it is for a set amount. And then, of course, if you go to a store and you buy something, it's a pain in the ass getting close enough to that amount. And if it's like a few pounds left on it, it's a hassle to use it anywhere else. And it's like, so you want to use it in one go. Of course, you can buy something that's more expensive and you can use that as a down payment and then you can cover the rest yourself. But I didn't want to go to the store, and it said it could be used online as well. So I know we need a separate cast iron pan, a small one. So I went on to like a chef's equipment store and I found one. And then, all right, I know it's going to cost this and this for shipping. So this is the amount I have left. So I just searched their inventory for everything up to that amount. And then how close could I get to it? And then I found the meat hammer and like, ooh, well, I didn't find anything else I needed. So I'll get that one. And I think I was off the mark by like half a pound or something. And that I'm just going to call it a day and never use it again. So yeah.
Well done.
So no making. Have you just been too busy for that, or have you lost your
Yeah.
mojo?
I mean, I do have projects that I need to do, but I can't be bothered trying to kick them off before New Year's Eve. Of course, while I was tidying, I found the legs for the side table that I'm building, and I put some rust mixture on it, and that has been working brilliantly the last couple of weeks. So it's really rusting. So I'm thinking maybe I should just leave it outside for a couple of weeks and then pick it up then, because it needs a fair bit of clear coat.
Wouldn't it be funny if you went to pick it up and it just fell apart? maybe left this a little too long.
Yeah. The problem is that it hasn't rusted enough, and of course, if you leave it outside, it's wet and humid. But if it's too cold, I mean, it rusts faster in your workshop with a better temperature. But of course, I mean, if it's too dry again, then it don't rust. So yeah, it's a whole process. So it might happen next year. Who knows? And I got a shot to the bow. Of course, the two-stroke grinder. I got all the parts, but I ordered the wrong chain. So I need to order a new one before I can start building it. And the length of the chain is key to where I place all the components. And I realized it won't work the way I intended. So I also had to order some cogs, and I'm going to have to build a gearbox. So that's going to be a huge project in comparison to what I thought. So yeah, so to compensate for that, I thought my first project of 2025 was going to be the slingshot, because it was really nice when I made Christmas gifts for my mom. It was like you went down there and it was done in 2 hours. And I think I could do the same with the slingshot, even with the filming. So I'm setting the bar low for 2025.
What are you making the slingshot out of?
It's gonna be plywood. I think that's
Yeah.
the strongest alternative, and then I'm just gonna use the CNC to rough cut the shape where you attach the rubber band, but the rest of it's gonna be hand shaped until it feels good in your hand. And
Yeah.
of course, slingshots are illegal in Norway, but I've read up on the law, and I have an idea for a video, because there are some exemptions to the law. So I'm going to make a video around that. So is this exempted enough for you? So it's going to be interesting.
How to get around the law on firearms. That's a good title.
Yep, exactly. And of course, that would be considered very clickbaity, but I mean, I'm going to make it not clickbaity. So yeah, we'll see. 2025 might be the year I get arrested.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're not a real YouTuber
Content.
until the police have come around and asking questions. So.
Yeah.
But going back to your Hellcorder video, I think it was a really nice little send off before the new year, and talking about the Hellcorder moving forward. So, I mean, is that the plan to expand on the case that you got at the moment, or are you happy with the look and feel of it, or?
At this point, I love the look of it. But as I mentioned in the video, it needs some modifications, and it's basically the two things left on the list. Of course, it's a bellows system to get it to be self-sufficient with air. And then, of course, I do want it to play better, and one of the easiest fixes for that, and knock on wood, is to swap the 1 octave with like tenor recorders. It's an easy fix. They are a bit longer, so they will stick up through the top, but I'm thinking if I could, of course, extend the side panels and lift the top of the cabinet, but I could also just let them stick out like chimneys and put like a metal grating protection around them, like these old tube amp amplifiers, and put some lighting behind there. I've also been thinking about some. I found a cheap small cloud machine, so there might be some visual effects there as well. The problem is, the bog standard recorder is extremely cheap, and the reason for that is because all the schools in the entire universe uses them, so they produce a lot of them, and they become dirt cheap. The tenor recorders are only bought by musicians, and people who actively choose to play the recorder are far and few between, which means the price of them are probably in the tenfolds to a standard one, at least what I have found.
I did some research actually after watching your video today, and the cheapest
Yep.
price I could find them at was 20 quid each. So at 13,
That-
that's 260 quid.
Yes, that is maybe I found them as low as that, and then of course it's the if it's the Baroque or the German finger style, and of course one of them is cheaper than the other. But it doesn't really matter here because I'm not going to use my fingers to play them anyway. I'm just going to tape off the hole, so I'm going to go for the cheapest alternative. But yeah, as you said, £260. It's
It's a bit much.
it is.
So now we're starting the Hellcorder Found. We're gonna do a fundraiser and
Yeah.
A Kickstarter, maybe.
Don't buy me a drink, buy me a recorder.
But that got me thinking, though. Yes, I could make a separate site instead of like buy me a coffee, buy me a recorder. But I would have 12 recorders left, or 13, and of course I could find some interesting projects for them, or I could just make some fancy cases for them and I can auction them off, like parts of the original Hellcorder. If you want a flute, this is your only chance.
give it a toot.
The question is, are there 13 madmen out there willing to pay the price of a tenor flute for a recorder for the Hellcorder? Not sure.
What about, instead of buying the tenor recorders, you buy the lathe and turn your own recorders, because that'll work out so much cheaper then, because it'll just be bits of wood, won't it?
Yeah.
You'll turn them out of or something.
Then you can turn them out in aluminium as well. That's cheap, probably, or bronze. Yeah.
That's going to work out far cheaper because lathes are cheap.
Yeah, you need a lathe and I need a router as well. I mean, because the air holes and the flute pockets, you can't really do that on a lathe. So
yeah, and some really long drill bit tooling as well. Yeah, do that.
the thing, though, is I could probably 3D print them.
Oh yeah,
which would still be more expensive. And I've seen people actually 3D printing recorders, and they're not as good as the cheapest one you can buy. so.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make the head, or what is called, the one that you blow in. That must be the important part, so to say, and that is the hardest to make as well.
Yeah. But that being said, I mean, you put them in the shopping cart and you press order and you close your eyes and you cry for a day and you have tummy ache for a week, but then you forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that as long as it's not a container or something like that in your driveway, if you have spent money on something and it hasn't impacted your ability to pay rent or get food for the kids and that sort of thing, you forget how much money you spent on stuff, and it goes away a bit quicker than I actually thought when I was younger than it would.
We had an interesting conversation with my wife here the other day, because her old hairdryer is on its last leg and she wants a new one, and she got one like a tip from a friend. This one is really good. It's a bit pricey, but yeah, you will never regret it. And yeah, they have been talking back and forth, and I really want to get this one. And I asked her, do you want me to make this decision easy for you? Yes, please. I just bought a track saw for roughly the same price. I've used it twice the last 4 years. And she's like, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Let's sell your track saw.
Damn, that's what she meant. Yeah. So that's the thing, though. I mean, it's not more expensive than half the tools that I have, and it's gonna get used every day for years.
Yeah.
So it's an easy one.
So what did Santa buy you guys? What presents did you get?
Ooh. Yeah, what did Santa get?
Very memorable presents by the looks on your faces right now.
I'm trying to think. What did I get? Any tools? I mean, I got some kitchen things and some a new pair of slippers. I mean, that really is boring stuff. I got one tool, a mini screwdriver to keep in my pocket at all times if I need to unscrew something. Because that is nice to have. Something I wished for. So, I mean, you never know if you see a nice sign or something like that. You want to help be free in the world or something like that.
How many other tools do you carry around in your pockets?
Not in my standard clothes. I don't have anything.
But in the BDSM ones?
No, but in my work clothes. I mean, my work clothes that when I'm on site. I mean, those weigh like 2 or 3 kilos just with the tools. That's in every pocket and that sort of thing, because it's the easiest way to carry them.
Fair enough.
You know, that's a different discussion. I hate carrying tools on me. I mean, pockets, tool belts, or whatever. At some point, I really wanted like a tool vest, but I'm not going to wear that as well. I mean, as long as the temperature is above freezing, I would rather much just use a t-shirt. So, yeah, but that's a different discussion. Did I get any tools? Well, I got the gift card, so I bought myself the meat hammer. That's a tool, and a whisk. So, I mean, I'm stretching it. So.
Sorry, and a whisk.
Yeah, the one you use to whisk egg or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or pancake batter. Other than that, I got like I got a new old style Polaroid camera because the one we had broke. And Lego just to fill the evenings with. I haven't opened the package yet because I film myself instead. And then I got a doorbell, like a video doorbell.
Oh, nice.
And so I have. I haven't been making, but I have been installing. So I mean, getting that up and running. That's fun. But yeah, now we have a functioning doorbell and video surveillance that notifies you every time the wind blows a leaf across the yard. You get a notification on your phone, so that's nice.
Oh, there's the cat again.
Yeah. To be fair, though, it has like a human detection, so it doesn't trigger by the cat. But we mounted it at the door so you can see people. But my kids, of course, love to try it out. But you can just see the top half of a head, and you can hear a lot of laughing. So yeah, it's. I mean, if you have midget burglars, they would have free pass.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was heading down to the co-op. So I came out of the house, locked the front door, and opened the workshop. I thought, I'll just nip in the workshop. I can't quite remember why I wanted to go in there. So I opened the electric door, went in the workshop, put my keys down for the front door, came out of the workshop, closed the door with the button in the workshop, went to the co-op, got back and realised I'd left my keys in the workshop. So I rang my mother-in-law, who has a spare key for our house, who thought it was absolutely hilarious, and came over, brought me a key and let me in. But she bought me a combination key safe for Christmas following that little incident. which I have installed, but we've not got a spare key for it yet.
We actually got that, and it's brilliant because sometimes someone in the family would like to drop by and borrow something if we're not home or whatever, and instead of them having separate keys that they lose and forget where they are because they're not using them every day, it's better that we have one with a passcode. So yeah, that works
Nice.
brilliantly. And if you want to start an Airbnb, then
I think the only other maker-related thing I got was a set of mini pliers. I bought Michelle a set ages ago and have been quite jealous. I wanted a set and I can't use hers because I can't get them dirty because she uses them for jewellery.
Ah, yeah.
So, yeah, I got a set of those. So, yeah, I've done pretty well maker-wise this Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think this is the second occasion I've actually been drinking beer on the podcast. One was last week, and this is the second occasion. And it's just left me needing the loo, so I'll catch you in a minute.
all right. So while Len is off to the loo, we can wrap up some unfinished business. And wish you all welcome to this episode of the #1 Crude Mistakes podcast with KJ from Crude But Efficient, Glenn from #1 Project, now absent on the toilet, and then it's me, Howard from Behind the Mistakes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very close to the end.
You're going to stitch this in at the beginning, or you're going to leave it at this point?
Oh, I mean, it's low effort December, so I think we'll just leave it as is.
As long as there's an introduction somewhere, I guess it's fine. 35 minutes pre-ramble and like 15 minutes show. Is that?
Let's kick off the episode. Let's keep it short and tidy. 5 minutes. Go.
Yeah, well, it works. I did not get any Lego for Christmas. But my kids, though, they got a lot of Lego. So I've been playing support for them, especially for the oldest, who really likes to have someone else do the nulling for him and laying out all the pieces nice and tidy, and having help putting stickers on things as well. So yeah,
of course, yeah,
it would be nice to have one of your own to do, but I have also been helping with. I gave both the kids Bandai Namco Gundam models, those plastic models that you get in a grid because they are what's it called, casted in plastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the ones that you peel off and glue together and paint and.
Yes, but no glue and no paint. You just snip them out and they press fit and click together. And it's like magic. There's no glue anywhere except for the one piece that I actually trimmed too close to the nubbin. I actually cut it off. And I got a telling offer from my kid, and I actually had to glue that together instead. But those are really fun and nice to put together. Nothing like the old wartime boring things I did as a kid. So I can really recommend them. They are really well done.
I forgot about those, but I had an assortment of fighter jets hanging in the ceiling of my childhood bedroom. Of course,
being really, really dusty.
Yeah, and being half glue with fingerprints on them and 50% airplanes.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I missed this because at some point I got, it was a small glue bottle with a very teeny tiny metal tube for like the spout or whatever it's called. It was very nice to putting it down, very little glue without spilling. And of course, the problem with any glue bottle, once you've used it and you put it away, you can try to seal it as hard as you can, but at some time it dries out. But of course, since this was like a syringe type spout, of course, it clogged up instantly. But being out of metal, what you did, you just took a lighter and you just heated it up and it burned away the solidified glue in there. and then it was
Nice.
open again. And I had that for a very long time, and then, like, just realized now, do they still make glue with those kind of applicators? Because then I should get some.
They should.
That would be really handy.
I haven't seen any though.
If you could get like that applicator that fits on top of your super glue bottle, that would be really useful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And what I did, I 3D printed something, and I needed to glue it together. And I have like the fast setting glue with the accelerator spray can. And of course, that lasts only a year or something before it's out of date. So that didn't work. And I've used it once. And of course, it's not very expensive, but it feels dumb to buy huge canisters of something and just use it once and then throw it away after a year. Of course, now I bought a new one, so that's going to be a problem in a year's time again. But now they also sell these very small fast setting glues. It's like 3 milliliters in a bottle is like half a pound or something. So you can just buy 10, 15 of those. And of course, once you open one of them, you just use it and then you throw it away. But buying 10, 15 of those is the same as the big can. And I'm not going to super glue something 10, 15 times in a year. So it's probably going to be more economical just going that route.
I've bought a pack of those small super glues, CA glues, in the past, and I've used one or two tubes and then come back to another one in the pack a few months later, and the whole lot's gone off even when it's not been opened. So I don't know whether they cheap out on the packaging as well. Or...
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe, but I'll find out. Let's recap in a year, and I'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah, I have a 4-pack of those unopened so far because my super glue bottle still works, but we'll see if they're dead when I get to them.
Yeah.
And of course, now I've added that to my shopping cart at AliExpress. Various sizes of like needles for syringes, because the ones I have, there was a little bit too large. I was trying to put down some paint, but it was like rattle can paint. It's very low viscosity, low viscosity. So I need thinner needles. And of course, the easiest way is to go to the pharmacy and ask, because they have needles, obviously. But you feel a bit weird coming in there. You have your workshop clothing on with some holes in them because you've been welding, and you have soot on your face, and like, do you have any needles? I need some needles. I'm gonna put some paint down. So yeah, right. Yeah. So you feel a bit judged. So yeah. Now I'm ordering them online.
Might be easier for you. We mentioned the Lampalong before, and I feel it's time to kick it off, so to say, because this is the new year, and I mean, why wait? Let's start today when the episode drops.
Quick, go
now.
Yeah.
You're already late.
You've got until the half pint to get it finished.
Yeah. And to be fair, Haavard has already started, so you're already 2 weeks behind. No, I haven't. No.
I've been doing some research and ordering some parts, but I haven't started properly. I can confess.
I've got 2 half ideas. And that's as far as I've got.
I maybe have 2 full IDs, but it might be that I have 0 IDs if neither of them works out.
So what's the schedule then, KJ?
Well, the schedule is that we start today, Saturday, the 4th of January, and the end time is roughly a month from now. That's the Sunday, the 2nd of February, is the published show what you've done to the world.
Nice.
Whether that is on YouTube or Instagram or smoke signals or however you want to share what you've done. That's up to you.
Yeah, you can even share it on the CMO group if you like.
yes, if you want to keep it in the family, so to say. If it's really naughty that no social platform will allow you to use it, then you can.
And then Haavard will take that photo and put it straight on Instagram.
Exactly. And then talking about naughty and lamps, I mean, lava lamps have an odd shape, don't they?
Yes, they do.
All right, carry on.
Well, a lamp for where the sun doesn't shine is something that came straight to my mind. That's a really good idea, actually. Now I have a fallback idea if my other two doesn't work.
Yeah.
Don't the old lava lamps, the original ones, they get rather hot, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That's part of how they work, if I remember correctly.
Fair enough. Carry on.
But speaking about the Lampalong, of course, we have, amongst the three of us, we're going to do a twist as well. And we have spoken about this, but of course, being the narcissists that we are going to publish on YouTube. And we have decided that we are going to edit each other's videos. So we're going to film this process, and then we're going to hand the footage over to the next guy in line. And then you're going to get the finished results back without any input from yourself. And we did do a poll at the CMO group, who should edit whose video. And I'm not sure what the definition of a landslide is, but it is 6-3. So I'm going to edit KJ's video. KJ is going to edit Glenn's. And Glenn's going to edit mine.
Oh, fuck.
This is going to be interesting.
I have a sneaking suspicion that people want to see Glenn edit my videos because mine are too long and he's been complaining they should be shorter. So, yeah. How short are they going to be? I made a lamp. Ta-da! There it is. YouTube's shortest video.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, this is scary and interesting. But because, I mean, I have thought about this a bit, and we have all the possibilities of, I mean, doing a pre-edit, so to say, in that the final edit depends on what material you have to work with. So,
yeah,
how many takes you actually give the person who edits, how much freedom you give them, so to say.
I'm a little bit worried on timings. How much time have I got to edit Haavard's to sift through the footage?
Yeah, that's about, what was it we said? I am trying to scroll.
Is it 2 weeks?
Losing my place in the timeline. Yeah, but almost 2 weeks. So I mean, you just you've just managed to watch all the footage, and then you can edit it on that Saturday, perhaps.
It's going to be a late night.
Yeah. It should be put down some...
Cut everything together, just like linearly, and just call it a day. And like it's 3 very identical takes, one after another, and then
How much are we allowed to add? Are we not?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm putting it up for a vote here. Should we have any rules of that we're not allowed to add anything, or is it free for anyone to do whatever they feel like?
I think the only rule is you make the video, so you're going to do it
as you can.
Yeah, you don't want to do any harm to anybody. Yeah, I think that's the only rule.
So that Haavard's video is
nice. Yeah.
Haavard's intro, and then it's Glenn explaining what he's doing, and then final product.
I'm looking forward to making a lamp, but what I look forward to the most is the editing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's gonna be. So hopefully you just make any old lamp. Really, just make it quick so I can have a good time doing the edit. That's the important thing.
So you're doing my video, KJ? Is that correct?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
I mean, this is now I have never felt this kind of pressure on my editing before, because now Previously, it's just me taking the fall if I do a bad job, but now it's for a friend. That feels.
We've all done videos that haven't done very well, so it doesn't. It might do better, and that's even worse, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Really blows up,
you want one to go exactly middle stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
But I think that's a nice way to end the main episode. We have put the Lampalong out there. We set the premises. We set the timeline. So we're not going to keep people hanging around the radio apparatus or the podcast machine or whatever you're listening to this on. Go to your workshop. Make a lamp.
And use the hashtag NCM Lampalong.
Why not just Lampalong? I'm
Because
pretty
we're
sure
following-
Lampalong is not a thing.
Yes, but we're trying to brand it as well. Just
Can
like
I
the
make a
Näfveqvarns.
suggestion? Can I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Go ahead.
Can we just call it the NCM along? And then we can get more hashtags as the years go by. If there are more years to be had, that is.
Do both.
Or just call it the NCM.
But yes, this is an NCM along. It is. It is.
Very good.
Use whatever hashtag you feel like. I mean, hashtag doesn't work anyway. Who cares?
Just don't use along, because if anyone put that into Google or whatever, we are not responsible for the images you will get. So yeah, with that we call it a day and good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.